What's up, bass heads? It's your boy, the OG Soda Pop Kid, coming to you direct with another video. This video is pretty critical. All right, this is a serious video, like something a little bit more deeper than the videos that I've been sending you guys. And it's about these alternators. As you see, I got the old 220s back in here. Okay? And lately, I've been doing a lot of switching and jumping around and yada, yada, yada. Yesterday, I did go for a bass ride, and with that little SSA meter of mine, I did go out on the side and test a little, and I did do a full tilt burp, okay, with that yesterday, and I did a 162.93, which was 3/10 down. Yeah, and I did go all the way to volume 30, but I did tell you I turned my amplifiers down to 105.8 from 106.8 AC volts. So I'm going to turn them back up to about 106.2 or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't believe the SSA meter gave me the true reading because, like I said, there's a 63 in there. It is. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, and this C-Flow fan was doing pretty good. When we took that drive, that thing actually kept the alternator that was real hot, one of the small cases that were on there, which was the one that was on this side. We took like a 30-minute drive, a bass, and like really going full tilt. And it kept this cool, this side cool, and this side was actually hotter than over there. This side was like 170 something degrees hot, and this was over, it was like 148 or something like that. So, yes, this thing was doing its job, but tomorrow I have a 4-inch one that puts out 270 CFM versus this one doing 130 CFM. Okay, so the 4-inch one is going to blow a lot more air. Then I'm going to move it closer as well. I just might as well wait till tomorrow to move it closer. Okay, so I got the old alternators back in here, and I'm going to tell you about the belt squeal and why I was getting all that yada, yada, yada. You're going to be surprised. And that I told you that one of those, alternator number 2 from the 320s was chattering. And no, I didn't drop it. No, nothing happened to it. When I got them working, I mentioned that it was chattering. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why it was chattering. Because I took it to Murray Automotive Electric because Kevin wanted to put that 320 up against one of these 220s on his dyno and show me and my boy Dre. Dre went with me. He was there as a witness with the clamp meter and all. Because he had told me, he's like, I bet you that 220 will get up with that 320. If not do as good as that 320 will. Okay, because Kevin was trying to prove that, you know what I mean, these alternator companies, he said, man, they're charging extra money or more money than stock for only a few more amps of, he's like, and I don't like that. You know what I mean? I was like, well, So, with that being said, okay, we went down there and he put one of these 220 stock ones up against those small cases. Now, these are the Dodge big cases, 220 stock. Those are the small case 320s that was made, that I had made. I'm not one to degrade anybody or talk about anybody bad. All right, but I am going to say that, I'm kind of feeling some type of way about what I'm about to say, and I coughed up $1,400, man, and I'm going to be making a move about that, man, because, pulling alternators in and out and then got to change the wiring and got to do this and got to do that is not what's up, okay? This is where I'm going to start. I took it down there, and he threw them both on the dyno, raised the RPMs up and everything on both of them. These 320s is only putting out 270. They're not putting out 320. I paid for 320. They're doing 270 off of his dyno. Now, Dre was there. You know what I mean? He showed me. They're only doing 270. They're not doing 320. Okay? These stock alternators here did 250 something from 220. Okay, and he was like, well, that's 20 amps away, man. He's like, but these are stock against something that was supposed to be doing 320. So these actually did 30 more amps than what they're rated at. These only did 270. That's the first thing. Remember the alternator I told you that was chattering? Okay, which was alternator number 2, and it's sitting down there. Well, it's bent. Something where the pulley sits on is bent. It was wobbling, and it's bent, and the fan or something is hitting the bearings because of it. As soon as he's seen it, he's like, man, this is the bearings, man. He's like, it's bent. And I was like, don't touch it, man. I don't want you touching it now. I thought maybe something that it was just hitting something and needed moved out the way. I was like, no. Nah, that's one thing. You know what I mean? But those alternators are only doing 270, not 320 like they're supposed to be doing. And technically, they're supposed to do like 340, 348 technically, because the last time I've had my big case 320s when Jonathan Patrick was at CES, and they put it on a dyno and sent a video to me showing them doing 348 maximum. Okay, I didn't get a video with these. You know, I know MacMan and all of them, Brand X and all of them will send a video of what they can do to the person that's getting them. Okay, these are only doing 270. The one of them is bent. The pole is bent. And I'm gonna tell you why. They were all the belt squirrel. Now this is gonna get you. Now it was hard to tell that these two alternators right here, two of these got smaller pulleys on them than the small pulleys that I've had. Two of them got these bigger small pulleys on them, and two of them have these smaller. They're smaller. They're smaller. These are smaller than that. Two of them had them on it. Two of them had these little pulleys on it. That's why the belts were slipping. There's two smaller pulleys on two of them and two bigger pulleys on the other two. I didn't even know that they made pulleys smaller than that. Because those are on all, this right here is the same pulleys that's on these. And that's why I was able to put a smaller belt, the 0.7 inches smaller on these. That 0.7 inch belt would not fit on those, and because they're all the same size pulleys, it would not fit. I'm about to return it. I ordered 2 more of them, and here it is right here. I'm about to send this back to Amazon, along with the 2 that's coming tomorrow, because I like having backups. No, this won't fit on them now. It fitted on them because of those 2 smaller pulleys. And I was wondering, and then the belt that's on here is an 1150. The ones I was already using on these, they went right back on nice and snug. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, this is why I was able to get a smaller belt on them. And when I put those 320s on, that belt went on looser. I couldn't figure out why. And it ain't the fact that the alternators are smaller, because the pulleys and everything was all the same. You know, when you sit them in here, they actually line up the same. These are just a tad bit wider and a tad bit taller. So it wouldn't have made a difference. If it would have had all these size pulleys on them, that same belt would have fit just as snug. Okay, so there was 2 different size pulleys on these. 2 of the little ones on 2 of these, and 2 of the little bigger ones is on them on the other 2. That's another thing. There goes the other, this right there. You can tell. There goes a little one on that one and a bigger one on that one. So once I found out that these are only 270s and that, I was like, I'm taking them off, man, and sending them back. You know what I mean? And you know, it's just, this is sad, man. I'm sending them back. I'm gonna message Tony, man, like, send them back and just get a refund, bro. You know what I mean? Because these ain't even worth it. I was better off. See, me and him had a miscommunication about these big case and small case. I didn't know what size my alternators were before me and him talked. And he thought that these were small case. is what he thought. They were small case. Those are small case, and once he put them all together, I realized that those are small case, and I could have had him build me 400s is what I could have had done. You know what I mean? It would have been the same alternators, the same exact alternators, man. Yeah, I would have definitely had him build me 400s in the big case with the same plugs and everything. I had put brand new plugs on there and everything. I had to replug, redo, reconnect, back down here doing everything all over again. Now I got to put a starter in. I got a brand new starter I got to throw in there right now because my starter was going bad. You know, and I didn't have it in a month, and it was going bad. And I got a smaller starter. I have one of them gigantic starters on here, and they're telling me that they replaced some big gigantic starters with these little ones that'll have more air to breathe and all this, that, and the other, and be just as strong. You can turn those on at 17 volts. And they'll start faster and every darn thing else. But this is the issue with the alternators, man. And I'm going to take a picture of these and show him. Two of the pulleys are smaller. And something's bent on this one that was chattering. And they're only doing 270. That's a hurt piece, man. That's definitely a hurt piece, people. You know what I mean? It's a hurt piece, man. Because, 2025 and this car audio thing, man, I've been wrestling with this car. Wrestling, bro. This going on, that going on, radio, acting a little weird, yada, yada, yada. Got that fixed, searched that. I'm about to jack this thing up and get to this starter. You know what I mean? But I'm going to put this video out. I wanted this to be seen and this to be known. Those aren't doing 320, they're doing 270. Two pulleys are smaller than the other two pulleys. You know what I mean? So that's that. So I got to move forward from there, man. You know what I mean? It's what I got to do. I got to move forward. You know what I mean? And other than that, we were talking about getting another fan over here to point it there. And how I'm gonna fit that in here. So I'm gonna take this, I got a battery delete, that's the positive. We talked about taking this positive right here and moving it on the side right here. Putting it across here to make more room for putting a fan to point that way, to point up and on that alternator right there if need be, to keep them cooler as well. And I did ask Kevin, I was like, how hot are these supposed to get before they're too damn hot? And he said, I don't know. He said, they're going to get hot because the engine gets hot and they're going to get hot. And I'm like, oh, well, I need to know how hot they can be before they're too hot. You know what I mean? That's what I need to know, man. But I don't know, but we're talking about that, putting that off to the side like that. Over there in a way, which will be different, and having room down in there to point, get another fan down there and point it that way. You know what I mean? So that's that. I wish I had room to point for them on there, but these things are, they're too long. They'll, So, I mean, if I turn them to the side, turn two to the side, I probably can, but they'll end up being in my way. I have to move them out of the way all the damn time and so on and so forth, man. But that's the cost of being a bass head and running all of this stuff, man. But I'm going to post this, people, and telling you what's going on, and then I'm going to jack this thing up and climb under there and attempt, and I do got one extra backup in case I do have issues. Yeah, but these things are just a disappointment, man. It is. And, revving them up. Now, when he was doing them at idle, of course, those were doing way better at idle than these. But he did do the rev up thing. He did do the RPM thing. And those did more. They did 270, but these things beat him at idle, of course. And they beat him. They damn near. And what happened is this doggone dyno the breaker is shut down and all kinds of stuff after running these things. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, y'all. And I'm going to post this. So it's your boy, the OG. I think I got everything out that I needed to say. It's your boy, the OG Soda Pop Kid. Coming to you direct. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And y'all can post up your comments, man, because all jokes aside, you know what I mean? This is a disappointment, man. Peace.